Alright, guys, let's sit down and talk. Let's talk about cold-hearted people. A person with a cold heart can only show their love by being cold. And what does that mean, to have a cold heart? Well, usually it describes someone who is emotionally unavailable and they're not warm or a loving type of person. I perceive cold-hearted people as people who are shut down, repressed, and out of touch with their deeper feelings, emotionally alienated from themselves, and they can hardly be expected to express to others feelings that they themselves are unable to access. Getting involved with someone who has a cold heart can often lead to heartbreak for the individual. People who have cold hearts have certain behaviors that make them easy to spot, however. So here are 8 behaviors to reveal someone has a cold heart. Number 1, they don't ask you about yourself. A cold-hearted person doesn't often show much interest in the person they're with. Whether the relationship is romantic or platonic, a cold-hearted person has very little interest in other people. They won't ask you questions about yourself, or if they do, it's to learn information that is useful to them in some way. Number 2, they're distant. Not just physically, but emotionally. It may seem like they're never really all there, and when you're having a conversation, they keep all their feelings to themselves. Someone who has a cold heart will rarely ever open up about their emotional vulnerabilities. They simply keep their distance no matter what. Number 3, it always feels like something is missing. You just can't connect with the person, and when you're with them, it always feels like there's just like a piece gone from the relationship. A cold-hearted person will always have a hard time connecting with the people in their lives, and something is missing, and it's usually in an emotional connection. Number 4, they're manipulative. Someone with a cold heart will often try to control the people around them through manipulation. This is because they often lack empathy for other people. Manipulators often voice assumptions about your intentions or beliefs and then react to them as if they were true in order to justify their feelings or actions, all the while denying what you say in the conversation. A cold-hearted person will try to manipulate everyone around them. They might try to get close to people and find out information that's useful. They will often have a lot of skeletons in their closets and a list of people that they have manipulated for one reason or another. Number 5, they have no good relationships. Someone with a cold heart will have no good relationships in their past. Emotionally unavailable people see a relationship as a source of comfort, something to occupy their time until something better comes along. They may often characterize their ex-partners as crazy, or they have a string of bad relationships left in their wake. They can't seem to settle down with one person, and they also may have a disconnect from their family, which is a huge red flag. A person with a cold heart is not likely to have very many close friends. Number 6, they're self-centered. Someone with a cold heart will often be focused on how everything affects them, even when it doesn't. Unconsciously viewing others as extensions of themselves. They regard them as existing primarily to serve their own needs, and just as they routinely put their needs before everyone else's. They tend to be incredibly self-centered, and this type of behavior manifests in playing the victim or trying to one-up someone. Number 7, lying. Lying is a behavior to watch out for when it comes to somebody with a cold heart. It's a part of manipulation in which the person uses to control the people around them. They may lie about things that don't really matter, like what they did that day or what school they went to. They may lie about big things. Usually they'll lie about their past relationships or any falling out with friends. You see a history of fabricated storytelling and wonder to yourself, how could you have ever believed some of the absurd lies in the first place? And they lie to make themselves seem more sympathetic. Number 8, how they treat others. They exhibit a constant need to talk about themselves in flattering and egotistical ways, with frequent reminders of their superior and envy-worthy disposition. In this case, keep an eye out for the way that they treat people that they deem beneath them, in the social hierarchy. How they treat anyone in the service industry should be closely observed. Especially keep an eye out for how they treat homeless people. A person with a cold heart won't have the empathy to treat these people as human beings worthy of respect. And getting mixed up with someone who has a cold heart can be taxing. However, knowing all the signs will put you ahead of the game. Don't be afraid to remove yourself from the life of a person who is cold-hearted. Everyone deserves to have a healthier and happier relationship than with these toxic people. If you know somebody like this, drop a like, subscribe. There's going to be tons of new videos coming in.